Now, Abby Phillips, why you on CNN lying? You done got caught lying, now you gotta apologize.
I incorrectly said that the bombs that were thrown by ISIS-inspired suspects in New York over the weekend were directed at Mayor Mamdani. They were not. I failed to catch and correct that mistake in real time, and I take full responsibility for that.
Let's get to Abby Phillips real quick. This was the actual lie that she told on the news. Now, some may say it was a mistake. It's a lie. And I don't know if she did it or the person wrote a teleprompter did it, but either way, it's a lie. We got to stop babying these people. You lied. Roll the clip.
Up next, 2 Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zoran Mamdani, and the House Speaker Mike Johnson says nothing really to condemn those comments. Another special guest is going to be with us at the table when we come back.
All right, so then she goes on, after she makes that statement, she then goes on and apologizes. Here's her apology. I want to correct something I said last night. The bombs thrown in New York City over the weekend was ISIS-inspired attacks, or by ISIS-inspired attackers, was thrown into a crowd of anti-Muslim protesters and not specifically targeted at Mayor Mamdani. That wording was inaccurate, and I didn't catch it ahead of time. I apologize for the error.
I incorrectly said that the bombs that were thrown by ISIS-inspired suspects in New York over the weekend were directed at Mayor Mamdani. They were not. I failed to catch and correct that mistake in real time, and I take full responsibility for that. And while we do make mistakes, it is important to acknowledge and correct those errors when they happen.
Let me tell you why I think it's bull shenanigans. Don't you find it interesting that Abby allegedly made a mistake like this, but also CNN made a mistake the other day that they had to retract? I don't think it's coincidental. This is tactical. They go out and do something bad and then apologize later, but by the time they apologize, the damage is done. Let me tell you something you need to know about Medicare. Most Medicare agents are not working for you. They're working for their commission. That means they'll push whatever plan that pays them more, even if the plan don't fit your needs. I don't respect that. What I do respect is Chapter. They make sure that you understand all of your options. They don't hide the downside. They don't rush you. They lay out the pros and the cons, then compare every plan to your specific healthcare needs. Because the goal isn't to sell you something. The goal is to get you the right coverage. One Chapter member, Donna, said her advisor walked her through every option, explained everything clearly, and ended up saving her thousands of dollars. That's not unusual. Chapter often saves people over $1,000 a year on healthcare costs just by helping them enroll in the right plan for their needs. So if you're on Medicare, or you're about to be, don't guess. Don't let the government or some agent hustle you. Call Chapter at 646-741-4126 for complete healthcare guidance. That's 646-741-4126. Don't you find it interesting that Abby allegedly made a mistake like this, but also CNN made a mistake the other day that they had to retract? I don't think it's coincidental. This is tactical. They go out and do something bad and then apologize later, but by the time they apologize, the damage is done. That's like me slapping somebody and knowing that I want to slap them, and I know I'm going to slap them, but I slap them and say, oh, I'm sorry, it was an accident. I didn't mean to do that. No, but you already slapped the person. You don't get to take the slap back. You guys already disseminated false information and tried to dumb down that these idiots were inspired by ISIS.
And again, just today, I could not believe it. I woke up this morning and CNN has this tweet up about how these, 2 innocent kids were traveling to New York City on a warm summer day, and lo and behold, they found themselves caught with charges of terrorism for dropping effectively IEDs at a protest. And CNN left that tweet up. They've now deleted it, but the story itself is still up there. And again, it's whether that falls in the hoax bucket or the out of touch bucket, I don't know, but it's just time after time after time, and that's why you see that trust in the legacy meeting just continuing to crater.
You guys already disseminated false information and tried to dumb down that these idiots were inspired by ISIS. And let me tell you why they did it. They did it because they believed Mamdani is on the same track that they are on, that they're going to downplay this. because it makes Muslims look bad, which they should look bad for doing stuff like this. And Mamdani being a Muslim and a radical, and his wife being a radical Muslim, I mean, all of this is bad. And God's side, I interviewed him, and he talks about, and he wrote a book about suicidal empathy. They're trying to blind us from acknowledging this suicidal empathy. That means that we're so willing to capitulate or not care about our own safety that we're willing to have people in our country that want to kill us, want us to die, want death to America, and want to take over America, and want to end Christianity. And I'm not saying every Muslim is like that, but what I'm saying is that ideology is prevalent. And the only reason we accept it because we have and believe and exemplify suicidal empathy. And it's mostly coming from the people on the left that are mentally retarded. And I'm just being quite honest with you. All right, let's get to the next statement. Clip 102, roll it.
Is there a line anywhere right now on Capitol Hill or elsewhere in the Republican movement when it comes to anti-Muslim?
I can't speak for Mike Johnson, but I would say we've had 2 terrorist attacks here in the last 10 days.
What does that have to do with Muslims?
So can we condemn those? Why are we?
Of course. What does that have to do with Muslims?
What does that have to do with Muslims?
There is a radical strain of Islam that's led to these terrorist attacks. Obviously, the vast majority of Muslims are
people with terroristic ideologies here and all around the world. What does that have to do with whether Muslims belong in American society as a group?
See, and this is where they get stupid and try to deceive you and manipulate you. If this was any other group but Muslim, they would be literally on TV crying and begging for Donald Trump to deport these people. The Muslim radical ideology has no place in the United States of America. If you want to be an American, assimilated American person, and you still believe in Islam and you're not practicing none of that foolery, then that's fine. You got Christians that claim to be Christian and they're not really Christians either. They just show up on Sunday. And some of y'all Muslims ain't really hardcore Muslims anyway, and you just, put your head on the ground and do all that other stuff, wrap yourself in blankets just to be saving face, trying to act like you're a part of a deep religion, and when you ain't following none of the tenets when you at your house or anywhere else in the world. So you got fake people all the time, but you need to assimilate to American culture. And if you don't, we don't want you here. I think, and it's the honest to God truth, that Muslims should be banned from coming into America for a period of time until we can re-engage with how do we make sure that these fools aren't getting radicalized or coming over into America trying to take over, having their deployment of, we're friendly with you, and then they turn into terrorists and they trying to strategically do things. Mamdani is one of those people. And he's made it to the mayoral position. And that dude is a terrorist. He's a terrorist sympathizer. And let me correct it. I think he's a terrorist sympathizer. He's terrorist adjacent. He believes and supports all the negative things that Muslims are doing around the world. The most dangerous religion in the world is Islam. Now, that don't mean that every Muslim person is dangerous, but the religious ideology, you can't find another religious ideology that's beheading people and spawning off all these groups like ISIS and Hezbollah and all this other stuff. What other religion is doing that? None. So therefore, importing people into our country from the Middle East should be banned until further notice, until we can figure out how do we prevent these things from happening, because I think there's going to be more sleeper cell terrorist attacks that's going to happen in America. These people are already with the mentality that they're going to do suicide bombings and stuff. And the moment you find a Jew doing it, the moment you find a Christian doing it, the moment you find a Catholic doing it, the moment you find Jehovah's Witness doing it, a Mormon doing it, a Buddhist doing it, then come talk to me. But until then, I don't see people beheading people in the name of their God in modern history other than Muslims. There has to be something there.